This is TML, Tu Manana Live. And we're back with the TML, and as promised, we have on the line now the fitness trainer and founder of Amenzone Fitness, Iseghohi. Hello.
Hello.
Hi. How are you, Amen?
Very well, thank you. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you. Thank you so much for taking the time to do this. I know that our listeners are very, very excited. We are very excited. We are starting a new year, and I know that a lot of people's resolutions for 2014 are to get fit, and what best way to make this happen for our listeners and to have you give us some tips, guide us, tell us about your regimen, tell us about Amenzone, which is having a lot of success. You just launched the DVD, and I want to start straight with that. How is it going? How did this come about? How is this born?
Well, the Amenzone DVD it's a very exciting venture that we just obviously launched. But first of all, I'd like to thank your audience for having me today, and thank you for having me on the show this morning. I'm just as excited to speak with you guys. The DVD was a great step in getting our philosophy on fitness out to the public, and one of our predetermined philosophies on self-care or health is, to do more with less. We have so much at our disposal.
I like that.
We look for the most complex things to answer to such a simple question. You really don't need to complicate matters in life, and health should be your number one priority. But we tend to complicate it, trying to look for the most advanced machinery when you really don't need that. So where I started from was as a kid in Africa, my grandmother would have us working out with what we had. And in Africa, we didn't have any gyms. We didn't have any machinery around. We didn't have that luxury. All we had were abandoned tires in a compound. So that was the genesis of my relationship with tire. My grandmother was an ex-athlete, so she was big on, doing more with less. So we used tires, and we would come up with creative ways to use our body weight in the tires. And so that's how the Amenzone philosophy was birthed. It was under that premise.
And I think, Amen, a lot of people in Latin America can relate, where maybe we don't have the same resources and we have to work with what we have. And I'm so excited about this, and I want you to go a little bit more in depth about your signature tire workout.
Right. So, our signature tire workouts are very specific to, an all-body as opposed to the conventional way of working out when you go to the gyms. For us, the way we figured it is when you go outside to have a normal lifestyle, you don't determine that, I'm just going to use my hands today, or I'm just going to use my legs, as opposed to when you go to the gym and decide, I'm going to have just a leg day or an upper body or arms day. You use all the faculties that you've been given, your arms, your body, your cardiovascular situation. So with us, when we work out, it's all body. So one of our basic exercises is the step up. You'll see it on the DVD, where you just start off by getting your heart rate up, stepping up and down the tire. And you do it at your own pace. It's not about how fast the other person is going. It's how well you do going at your own pace, just knowing that you need to push yourself out of your comfort zone.
Now,
so for us, it's
I'm sorry to cut you off. I wanted to know how this is different than anything else that's out there, because nowadays there's 10,000 million DVD options and 10,000 million, workout plans that people swear by or that people sell. And I want you to tell us why yours is different. Why Amenzone Fitness Rebel DVD is different.
One of the most obvious parts when you watch the DVD, we believe, the most challenging part of fitness is really mental. I train a lot of professional athletes, and it's not so much that you can't do push-ups or sit-ups by yourself. It's getting yourself to do those push-ups and sit-ups. So in the Amenzone DVD Rebel, when you watch it, immediately you feel right off the bat you're inspired and empowered to get up and do something about it, not think or wish or dream about doing something. We get you to actually mentally get yourself engaged and motivated to do something. The exercises themselves is different because obviously you're using a tire. If you don't have one, we've tailored the workout in such a way that you can do it without a tire. But you're so motivated and so inspired throughout the entire DVD, you find yourself actually enjoying getting yourself healthy as opposed to just following a regimented and a repetitive routine.
I was just going to ask, how do you go about getting a tire?
We'll send you a tire. If you're in the United States, I'm more than happy to send you. You don't need to go to the tire store. We'll send you a tire. We're that committed to the process and getting you healthy.
We're going to hold you to that.
Oh, yeah. You want a tire, we'll ship you one.
Now, Amen, I wanted to know, I mean, and this might be a little bit psychological, but I'm sure you're aware or you're familiar with it. Why do you think we start off the new year with all these goals, all these resolutions, and come spring, all those resolutions are out the door. We're back to our old habits. We've just given up. Why? Why do you think? I mean, what are we lacking? Other than obviously motivation, and why are we lacking it?
You know what? This happens to the best of us. It tend to set goals that are not unrealistic, but just a little too high, too fast. You know, you got to start one step at a time. You know, that's one thing I tell members of mine that used to be athletes. We try to, compare where we're at now to where we're at when we're in college. A lot of people make that mistake. So when they start, they start way too fast and way too hard. You know, instead of going an hour, if you haven't worked out in a while, instead of going an hour, why don't you try 30 minutes? In fact, why don't you just try 15 minutes? It's not about how hard you go when you do work out. It's about how consistent you are with your routines. It really comes down to consistency and discipline. That's what it comes down to. But start in a manageable way where you actually enjoy the process and get yourself in such a way that you're growing incrementally. So you have goals. So you set up a low standard goal and you set high goals. So you say, this week, let's see what I can get accomplished. Then you find out what your monthly goals will be and measure your performance to your goals. That keeps you on track. It's like leaving your house in the morning. I tell my members, you have a destination. You're not walking out of your house and walking around in circles. You need to have a plan. And if you follow a plan, you'll find that you're more committed to the result.
Now, I want to pick your brain a little bit in regards to fitness myths. There's a lot out there, and I want you to tell me the most common that you hear that are just complete BS.
Well, one of the fitness myths is that if you think about working out, you get in shape. It just doesn't happen. You can't dream yourself into good health. You've got to take action. You got to take action. And another thing that folks do is they try to avoid the hard work. They try to find the easy way out. And always try to find. There are no magic to staying healthy. There is no magic to staying healthy, so to speak. There is no shortcut. I hate to be the one to break the news to you.
But it's true.
You've got to put in the work. There's a lot of. I'm watching all this stuff on television, and that's part of the reasons I was inspired to start the Amenzone movement. There's a lot of, and the crazy thing about it is, it's not true, but you buy into it because, you want to get back to where you're at. Most of us know what we need to do to have a healthy and a happy lifestyle.
That is very
we all
true.
tend to want to go for the shorter version, and it just doesn't work. There's no way of avoiding it. You just got to be committed to success, and that requires hard work and consistency. That's just the truth.
What other tips do you have in terms of also diet? We're talking a lot about fitness, but obviously they go hand in hand.
Absolutely.
What are your tips? What does your regimen consist of?
You know what? I take the realistic approach. There's a lot of farce out there, and I got to be honest. You just got to use a common sense approach. My mom used to say to me, everything in moderation. Everything in moderation. So where I start from when I talk to folks is, look at what you're eating right now and try to find out if there's a healthier version of that. And you'll be shocked to find out there is a healthier version to almost everything we eat right now. So it's not so much going cold turkey and telling someone completely just give up what you're eating, because you can't keep that up. Whatever you pick up right now has to be something you can apply on a daily basis. We have a saying in Amenzone Fitness, we're training for life. Well, the same goes with nutrition. You're eating for life, but do it in moderation. Start with that. Where you're at right now, eat smaller portions. I like to look. I like to look at my plate, for example, and make sure that half my plate is fruit and vegetables. Avoid anything that's high in sodium. And most cultures, like the African Americans, the Hispanic culture, we tend to eat a lot of high sodium foods, and you need to watch that. It's very important that you watch that. So that was my first. And also, whole grains. If you have a chance to eat bread, most of us like to eat bread. We can't avoid it. We were raised eating bread. So I'm not going to say you just take bread and throw it out the window. You can't eat it because you can't keep that up. So what I would say is just make better choices. Have whole grain bread, for example, or whole wheat. You can start with that and gradually try to weed yourself off things that are bad, for your plate. I personally don't drink milk. And for those that do drink milk, I would say, go for a low-fat milk or a fat-free milk. But I try to just avoid milk entirely. That's just my personal preference. And for protein, I'd go for nuts, beans, or lean meat, sort of, lean chicken when you eat salad. That would be great for you. I try not to eat past 7:30 p.m. at night. I just find that the body doesn't process the food quite as well. And, to turn into, just fat food is to just push you in a worse shape. By the time you wake up in the morning, you find that you're slower, you're more lethargic, just because your time, the way you structure your eating habits around your time. So that's really important. Those are just basic stuff. We can go on forever about specifics on eating healthy, but it really does come down to common sense approach, which again, most people know. Back in the day, some of our parents were healthier. They're not as sedentary as we are now, but they actually had a common sense approach to eating. They walk to most places. Now we drive to most places.
Oh, gosh, yes.
Some of us spend time at work.
Sitting down on our butts the whole day.
Yes. Yeah, have something healthy close by. Instead of looking for the parking spot that is right next to it. If some people could drive to their desk inside the building, they'll do it. Even
oh gosh, I'm guilty.
Even though for walking the dog, most people get no exercise at all. So
True.
The way I see it is create a healthy environment around you where you have no excuse but to eat healthy, and you'll find that it's not as difficult as they make it seem. Put a bowl of nuts on your table so you pick on that instead of getting yourself so hungry that you can't wait to get to the nearest fast food
and
joint.
stuff your face.
And go stuff your face. So that's what happens.
We are on the line with Iseghohi, creator of Amenzone Fitness. When we come back from the break, Ahmed, I want to talk about the benefits of workouts for families to do together. Also, these exercises for kids that you've aligned yourself with the Amenzone PE Foundation. I want to talk a little bit more about that. And also how you can get your hands on the Rebel DVD series. We'll be giving away 2. So we're very grateful for you providing these 2 DVDs, and we'll tell you exactly how you can get your hands on these when we come back here to Mañana Live.